I'm trying to explain in here the science behind mind control technology that's fully unfoxing the world for long. It's just because it's remote and covert and it remains invisible and non-traceable most of the time. That's why it has fooled and foxed the world for long. It was a classified technology, and that's why people never used to have the knowledge about how they're doing it, who is doing it, and how they're doing it. We don't understand. Who are they? Some gods? Some aliens abducting us and doing some trick on us? They're controlling our brain, nerves, body, and manipulating any and every emotions and feelings and the internals also. How do they do it? So answer was not very clear till the classified information was out by the insiders, the whistleblowers. And the science behind is not very difficult, but a different realm in which you don't really deal with in practical terms. The thing is, in this world there is nothing but matter and energy. This human body is again composed of matter and energy, and if energy is not there, the matter inside our body is like a dead body. The matter won't function. So what makes our body work is some energy field. Energy field that is an electromagnetic field. Now each and every organ vibrates with its own frequency. Now these are called organs resonance frequency, and if outside electromagnetic fields are matched with this resonance frequency, they can be hacked into, and they can be broken into, and can be manipulated and invaded, and can be done upon anything and everything. This human body, much like a computer, contains myriad of data processors. They include, but are not limited to, the chemical electrical activity of the brain, heart, and peripheral nervous system. The signals sent from the cortex region of the brain to other parts of the body, the tiny hair cells in the inner ear that process auditory signals, and the light sensitive retina and cornea of the eye that process visual activity. So we are in an era in which these data processes of human body and mind may be manipulated or debilitated. An entirely new arsenal of weapons based on devices designed to introduce subliminal messages or to alter body's psychological and data processing capabilities can be used to incapacitate individuals. These weapons, known as remote neural monitoring, aim to control or alter the psyche or to attack the various sensory and data processing system of the human organism. In both cases, the goal is to confuse or destroy the signals that normally keep the body in equilibrium and destroy it. So, here we are talking about a biological system or a biophysics mediated electromagnetic system that can be manipulated and altered by outside electromagnetic fields. So here the important thing is the outside electromagnetic fields can manipulate or alter the organs, different organs, is set to different frequencies, and can debilitate it and damage it to any extent possible. Now this technology is known as EBL and RNM, electronic brain linking and remote neural monitoring. Now this monitoring, this linking is basically some kind of chaining up of the brain and body with a system called brain-computer interface. Like a computer-to-computer attack, it's a supercomputer-to-brain attack, where human brain is chained up with a supercomputer through the integrated machineries or the weaponaries like cyclotrons and all. But the thing that they call monitoring is a deceiving term. That which should, if you want to monitor something, that should remain unaltered or unaffected or untampered. But in here, that kind of thing doesn't happen. This monitoring and this chaining up and manipulation and alteration and control changes the very thing that we are trying to monitor. So it's not really that thing. It's getting affected. It's getting changed. It's getting manipulated. It's getting murdered. It's getting poisoned. And it's getting destroyed and degenerated. So no question of monitoring that which I am changing. So I am monitoring my effect, my criminal effect on a biological system. And biological system like brain and all are very sensitive, very sophisticated, and cannot be altered for a thing. Like the thing that I talked about is new thing that I talked about is energy. Yes, energy fields. Brain has got brain and every organ has got its own energy field that cannot be invaded. That cannot be invaded, altered, or manipulated. And it has got something called consciousness. And the consciousness is even comes even before matter. Even before matter came, according to Max Planck, the conscious matter came from consciousness only. And this whole world was initially like a mind. It was like an universal consciousness from where all the matters got produced. So this consciousness is very important, and if this cannot be invaded, it has got a potential that really drives the human being and the universe. So this cannot be invaded, manipulated, or altered in order to do any such thing on a human being. So these two factors are very important, along with the air invasion factor. These are done through space-based weapons. These are done through space-based weapon, wherein the surrounding air and atmosphere also gets manipulated, ionized, or poisoned. So these two factors, air and consciousness, along with the energy field, are the factors that we normally do not know and are not aware of. So when this thing gets changed, the human being as a whole get changed, and they get debilitated, damaged, and destroyed. So, as I was saying, whatever goes on in the name of mind control or mass surveillance is basically challenged legally and mechanism-wise. Mechanism-wise, actually, it's altering and debilitating the system and manipulating the system. Hence, it's not monitoring. And the mind control basically means covert attempts to influence the thoughts and behavior of the human beings against their will or without their knowledge, particularly when surveillance of an individual is used as an integral part of such influencing. And the term psychotronic torture comes from psycho of psychological and electronic. So it's quite clearly understood that we are attempting to influence the thoughts and behavior and against their will. And without even their knowledge also. So we are changing the behavior and the action and the activities of a person by changing their thoughts and feelings and emotions. So the human being changes slowly, and we make them and the criminals try to make them accountable and responsible for all such activities that they try to do in this kind of criminal subjugation or criminally subjugated condition. So legally and mechanism wise, it's always challenged, it's always illegal and criminal, and it's low kill assassination attempt. And this is actually very sophisticated form of remote technological torture that slowly invalidates and incapacitates a person. These invisible and non-traceable technological assaults on human beings are done in order to destroy someone psychologically and physiologically. In the intention, the very intention is also devilish and criminal. So no one in the sane mind can think about any such thing that will slowly destroy and degenerate a human being and degrade and defame him systematically for causing non-credibility on the part of the victim. So quite clearly, in principle and in terms of all legal and humanitarian grounds, this is an absurdity and this cannot happen. So the knowledge that was fooling us for long, that was fooling the world for long about how do they do it and how do they affect us, was clarified by through classified technology, classified information publishing and all. And from that point onwards, we could know that this is the reason and this is why we couldn't, this cannot happen. And from that point onwards, there's an attempt to ban this technology and the use an application of this kind of things through projects called mind control projects. The worst among which is MK Ultra project, against which a charge trial was organized back in 1975 to preempt the provision of any such scope to torture and murder a human being through this technology. Now, even after 1975, after that charge trial also, this kind of things are going on in the world. Now, there was a protest that was organized before also, right around World War II, through Nuremberg trial, where the scientists, such kind of non-consensual technological experiments, non-consensual scientific experiments were done by Nazi scientists and were taken care of in Nuremberg trial, where a hang sentence was pronounced for the scientists for such kind of cruel, inhuman and degrading activities against human beings. So from there, Nuremberg Code was born, where the code for human experimentation got created, and the code is informed consent, and voluntary consent. So it's a consensual and informed consent that is primary requirement for any such human experimentation. So after these two actions, UN tried to ban this technology through UNIDI research and called this kind of advanced category of weapons as weapons of mass destruction. European Parliament also called for a convention to ban all this kind of weapons, knowing the effects of it and seeing the public evidence. After seeing the public evidence regarding this, there was another bill that got passed in US in 2001 called Space Preservation Act, or HR 2977, where this kind of exotic weapons were banned. I mean, the proposal for banning of this kind of exotic weapons were there, along with mind control weapons and all. And it says this Space Preservation Act was to take care of this kind of space-based weapons that alters, debilitates and damages a human being in all terms. So this kind of international actions were taken, and Soviet Union also acted against it, because Soviet Union, especially Soviet Union and US, were doing this kind of researches secretly, and Soviet Union also went against this kind of things and banned the use of psychotronic weapons back in 1990s. So these are historical evidences, and there are enough public evidences available in public domain that will show the torture and plight of the individuals from all over the world, and their appeals. Too. So based on all these factors, no one could have started the use of any such technology, or approved or authorized the use of any such technology, either in US or in India, especially, where no such scope and provision of any such thing was there. Hence, in Indian, so far as India is concerned, this mass surveillance, all the mind control technology is out of scope, and it's a banned thing. Because it goes against the fundamental rights and the fundamental laws, and it's of course can be considered as a blind terrorism or psychoterrorism, remote psychoterrorism, that can be considered in terrorism terms. So it must be a banned activity. So there is no question of fooling people anymore with the knowledge, and people are getting much more evidences. People have got court victories also. There are 3 court victories in US against mind control court cases, and a restraint order were immediately issued. Just after seeing the scope or provision for doing this kind of torture, the restraint order was issued. No one could have started this kind of technology back in 1999 in India, based on all the facts and the details that I have mentioned so far. No question of fooling around in here, and hence this was a crime, thorough crime, and conspiracy right from the very beginning. That's chargeable, punishable, and should be considered in due terms.